Welcome everyone. I'm going to give a few seconds for people to join. I see the counter going up, so give it a few seconds. And while we're waiting, we are really excited to present this webinar on the Lindworks side, TikTok Your Shop. I'm Caroline Schmidt. I'm the VP of Growth here at Lindworks. We are, I think the reason that we're all here is TikTok Shop is really emerging as a game changer in the e-commerce world. I think latest stats, 348 million users in the United States and Europe, 75% of whom are already making purchases when they're browsing TikTok. So we're seeing this as a big growth channel for our retailers and our customers. And we're just excited to talk more about it and what's going on there. So we know you guys are actively looking at adding TikTok Shop to your channel strategies. So today, we're going to be exploring why launching products on TikTok Shop could help with your direct growth strategy, as well as if you're already in TikTok Shop, what you can do to really get going. What are the things that can help you with either doing more sales, really progress with influencers, or looking at fulfillment or operations to help you operationalize what you're doing within the platform. Just for all of you that are joining, our plan is to get through as much as we can in this short, brief time together. We have a lot of content. So we'll try to address as many questions as we can during the presentations, but we will have a little bit of time for questions at the end of the presentation. So if you'd like to go ahead and start adding things into Q&A, we'll take those at the end of the sessions here today. But if we don't get to your question, our plan is to follow up with as much as we can. So on the Lindworks side, we'll be sending out additional details. We also have some future deep dives into TikTok, both with some ebooks, some demos, and other things. So if you'll be on the lookout for those post-webinar, we'll definitely send those out. So with no further ado, I want to introduce our presenters today. So Vincent Ramsey of TikTok. He is on the Commerce Partnership team at TikTok Shop, where he plays an integral role in global go-to-market strategies and enablement across tech partners and app developers. With his background in both retail and technology industries, Vincent is passionate about crafting and promoting solutions that empower sellers to enhance their effectiveness in TikTok Shop. So welcome, Vincent. We also have Samantha from ShipBob, who will delve into optimizing your fulfillment process within TikTok's ecosystem, ensuring a seamless customer experience. So as the onboarding and growth manager at ShipBob, Samantha brings a wealth of experience, particularly in the Fulfilled by TikTok program. And her role involves ensuring seamless integration for partners, focusing on optimizing fulfillment processes to improve your customer experiences out well within the TikTok ecosystem. So as I said, we'll be going through our presentations here and then again, put your questions in Q&A and we'll get to as many as we can at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Vincent on going through TikTok Shop, either if you're looking to explore it as a channel or you're already in it, and just kind of what some other resellers are doing, our sellers are doing in the platform.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So if we go to the next slide here, you'll see that TikTok Shop is open for you guys' business. But really, by way of introduction, I know that was a lot in the beginning as you kind of navigate who we are. Really, I'm here to chat about TikTok Shop in general, and we'll chat about, in my section, what is TikTok Shop, why I think you guys should all be on there if you're not already. But kind of like we alluded to in the beginning, also, for those that may have already started or you're already interested and about to sign up, what are the tips for launching my shop? How do I start to grow my sales organically? We'll chat through a lot of that and give some high-level tips. I think there's so much to unpack. It's almost like a series of webinars we need to have, right? And then really kind of ending with, as your shop is starting to go, you've mastered all that fundamental setting up. What are some ways to scale that success as well? So what you're seeing on the slide now is just a bit of history. And that's the fact that on TikTok, the app, not TikTok Shop, we noticed a growing trend of the hashtag TikTok made me buy it, both from people using that, but also videos tied to that. And then we also have done some internal research and found that about 3 out of 4 people are more likely to buy from a brand or product that they've seen on TikTok Shop. And all of this is just to say that we noticed that while TikTok was having these viral trends, having this leaned in audience, we also found out that that audience on social media was willing to buy. And that's kind of just some history and the premise of why TikTok Shop came to be. Here on the next slide, you'll kind of see the 3 things that really make it a special marketplace. And it's because it's where commerce and entertainment meet, right? So starting on the far left, you'll see that we have creators and content that are kind of influencing decision making. Really, I think what's cool about TikTok Shop is the creators and even the brands that are starting to sell on there already are kind of redefining how you tell a story and how you influence people to buy. And so again, on that previous slide, we had an audience that's willing to buy. We have creators and brands telling unique stories. It's starting to be a fun place, right? And then the third part that we have here is it's that algorithm, if I'm just going to call it what it is, right? We'll chat through this on a future slide coming up, but there's kind of a various ways a shopper can take their journey on whether they're seeking to buy or whether things are just kind of naturally and organically proposed to them. So if we go to the next slide, I know someone already asked a question of, as a brand or a merchant, TikTok shop, that's great, but what does this look like to a seller? So let's chat through that. And what you're seeing here is kind of a zoom out of the entire shopper journey on TikTok shop. So going left to right, you can see that shoppable videos will pop up on someone's feed. If they click, it's really tiny. We'll zoom in soon, don't worry. If they click on that orange product link for the Pixie blush, it takes them to the product detail page where they can see what's the color, what size options are available. Typical, right? From there, they go to checkout. And this is what is unique about TikTok Shop is checkout occurs in the app. So rather than being redirected to an external website, or rather than, having to do hey, there's a link in bio or a weird in-app browser that redirects somewhere, it's just a seamless checkout experience. And what that leads to is one, better consumer experiences, right? And two, what we all care about, less fallout as they're going through that conversion process. And then I know some people have peppered in questions about like, what's unique about TikTok though? Like I'm already selling in other places. What's special about this? Kind of at the end, you'll see it's all kind of, there's a synergy to it. After someone buys your product, if they love it, they also have a chance to become an advocate for you, kind of like we've all seen on TikTok already, where you see a video here of someone discussing what they love about the product. So really interesting stuff. But on the next slide, you'll see that, as I alluded to a little bit earlier, there's 2 kind of shopping journeys. One is as you guys work on your own shoppable videos, right? As you're putting your products out there, there's kind of that organic journey where based on what category you're in, what you're hitting in the algorithm. On the left-hand side, we're just kind of naturally sharing these videos with people that they might be interested in this and they have the opportunity to buy. But also on the flip side, we also do have the shopping experience via the shop tab, which don't worry, I'll cover it. But that allows people to kind of, if they're in that buying mood, I do this myself personally, you can kind of click through and actively buy rather than just having it organically show up. So regardless of how someone is preferring to buy something via shop, we kind of have both ends covered, which is really cool. The next slide, here we go. Yeah. This one is really great because as we keep chatting about Vincent, what is unique about TikTok Shop? Why should I be there? There's a bunch of benefits, but the 4 here are the ones that I think are really cool. The first one is live shopping. And I know this exists elsewhere, right? Where there's this live video, it's literally just live streaming, kind of like we are in a sense, and starting to talk about a product or series of products that you have on your TikTok shop. To me personally, and I think people are starting to catch on, this is actually a really underestimated portion of TikTok shop because what you're getting here is actually the ability to directly connect with your consumer base. So if you have a new product, if you have an older product that you want to discuss why it's so cool, this gives you that one-to-many chance to talk about your value prop, talk about the kind of the product creation process that may kind of add to the intrigue behind it. And people, much like this webinar, are able to ask live questions that you can answer. So imagine the volume of FAQs you could get through and also capitalize on later. So such an amazing way, and we've seen really successful shoppable live streams go on. The second one is campaigns and promotions. This is, I think some people have called this out where they're like, I always see discounts on TikTok Shop. Like, what's up with that? It's actually a great time to join TikTok Shop because we have various promotions and campaigns that go on. One you can imagine that's coming up is going to center around Black Friday and Cyber Monday, where TikTok Shop actually subsidizes various things like a percentage off of your product, free shipping, whatever it may be. And so it's really cool when you get in there where we're kind of helping you get that volume and that scale. So really exciting things to capitalize on. The third one that I think I always kind of over-index on because it makes things less scary is you're able to directly work with creators. I'm not gonna lie, right? TikTok Shop, it's very different. It's not just a carousel of images typically. TikTok Shop is like videos and music and trends. And that's not always things that merchants have been doing. It's a little bit new, it's a little bit scary. And so I always recommend, I'll give you guys a preview of where you can access it, but we have really easy ways to tap into those creators or influencers, if you're used to that term, to kind of partner with, where you'll kind of offer a commission percentage off your product, but they can help you with that video. And something that I always say to make people feel better is we've seen that on TikTok Shop and TikTok in general, authentic content does well. Not highly produced, not super like glossy and professional. People just love fun videos. And so if you're kind of mastering what your voice is, creators are a great way to step that up. And they also kind of come in with a built-in audience typically, which is great. And then the last one is always a given, but worth calling out. You'll have performance analysis to see which of your products are doing well, what things need your attention, et cetera. So a whole world of data to kind of help you keep optimizing your shop over time. So let's shift into if all of that catches your eye, or I know like half of you were like, I'm already interested, like, what do I do from here? Really, sign up is easy, right? Like getting onto the site. And so on the next slide, you'll see the first half is just navigate to our TikTok Shop Seller Center. What I'll do for those that may not be on TikTok Shop but are interested is in the recap that the Linworks team kind of alluded to, where you'll get the recording, any unanswered questions, etc. I'll include a link for you guys to kind of sign up if you're interested, and we can share it with our account management team so they can kind of reach out and help guide you. I know sometimes onboarding is a little bit scary, so many documents you need to give, questions you don't know how to answer. So keep an eye out for that. But really, you just go through TikTok Shop Seller Center, onboard through there. It'll tie to your actual TikTok account if you have one already. And that's how you kind of combine the consumer side TikTok with the business side TikTok Shop. And then on the right-hand side, I saw some savvy questions from people where they're like, what's the best integration setup, Vincent? Like, do I connect with Shopify? Like, what do I do here? Step two or part two, it's not necessary, but if you are at a point, right? I think it's all about meeting you guys where you're at. If you're at a point where you're like, heck yeah, I want to use an integration like Linworks to help scale and grow my TikTok shop, check out our app store. I'll give you guys a QR code to navigate there, and it just helps you do things faster, less manual. One thing I love to put on everyone's mind early is, again, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is coming up. If you're starting to think about products going viral, do you really want to be printing out shipping slips manually and packaging those? Or do you perchance want to use a partner that can make that much easier? Things to think about when it comes to integrations, right? But before we chat about integrations in the world of option, taking a step back, we chatted about TikTok Shop, why it's so great, why it's beneficial. We talked about how easy it is to sign up. But once you're in there, like step zero, I would say, is Seller Center is going to be your operational hub where you get stuff done. It's your one-stop shop for managing TikTok. And this is where all of the great kind of fun things I said, right? Connect with creators, find our app store to grow with integrations, etc. It's all found through here. And you can kind of see it on the left-hand side there on the navigational bar. So all of the future slides I'm going to talk to, all of it's really going to be found right here in Seller Center, just to kind of give us a place of where we're starting from. So on this slide here, what you're seeing is that once we're signed up, we're really starting to chat about pushing it forward, right? How do you get your catalog into TikTok Shop with your available products? How do I optimize those listings? I saw some of those questions already from great people. And then you can kind of see we have some growth tactics that I'll also chat through. So all of this exists, again, from Seller Center as we're getting our business done. But one thing I also want to call out, there was a lot of focus on organically growing my sales. How do I list my product so it catches people's eyes? I don't want to do a disservice and not highlight the fact that at the bottom, you'll see that you can also amplify with shop ads. So again, TikTok Shop, we have shoppable videos, we have shoppable live streams, and there's a shop tab. You can use ads to kind of amplify your presence, so to speak, so that those shoppable videos kind of pop up for more people, maybe a little less organically, but still something they might be interested in. So keep that in mind as well as you kind of grow your TikTok shop presence. You might want to use that as a growth lever. So here we're going to shift into the real tactical. People were like, how do I like optimize my product listings? And then I know another question that was in there was, there seems to be like certain categories on TikTok Shop that are doing better than others, right? Two pro tips that usually will take people a second to find, so I wanted to highlight here. Right in Seller Center for free once you're onboarded, we have two things I recommend you using. One on the left is product opportunities, where if you kind of go in a certain category, let's just say beauty, TikTok will actually kind of recommend subcategories that people are really searching for. And if you really squint, you can see that you can kind of add your products if you fit that. A really great way to figure out, yes, you have your product catalog, but what are your hero SKUs specific to this marketplace? Really great thing to leverage right off the bat, right? And then on the right-hand side, someone was asking a really great question of, how do I optimize my product listings? Like, what are you guys looking for? We have really great articles in our TikTok Academy that will guide through the basics of that. But the second thing is, use our product optimizer. We have a tool that kind of leverages AI, like everyone says, and it will tell you, hey, I think you need a bit more of like a description for your product, or hey, like we recommend a white background, you should fix that. So a really great way to optimize it, and it'll kind of list it all out for you. Again, all right in Seller Center. So great tools to take advantage of. The second thing is, again, I told you guys, I warned you, I'm going to over-index on the creators. Creators are the cornerstone of TikTok Shop, right? Like if you think of the app before TikTok Shop existed, we were all chatting about creators. Trends are always kind of tied to a creator or influencer. And I say kind of capitalize on that, leverage that. You can see on the left there, 58% of TikTok users say that they're more likely to trust a brand if a creator speaks to it. There's a level of authenticity that they add to it. And then on the right-hand side, 65% of TikTok users say they rely on the creators to kind of inform their buying decisions. So a really great way to kind of figure out how to work. And if we click to the next slide, there's two ways you can approach this. Again, in Seller Center, I'm kind of alluding to like a left-hand navigational bar. There's going to be an affiliate center. And once you enter into that to work with creators, there's two options. You can either do an open plan where, this is frankly probably what I would do, where it's, I have my products, I know I need help and I want some talented people, but I don't know creators. So you kind of just put it out there and you're like, this is an open plan. You guys can kind of reach out to me and we'll figure it out. Or as time goes on, or if you're really a brand that's particular about your messaging, You can do a target plan where you actually select specific creators to outreach to. And usually that happens, I feel, as time goes on and you figure out who you're working well with. So really great. And again, accessible directly in TikTok Shop Seller Center. And then two that I also wanted to chat about here was kind of like I said, campaigns and promotions. Leverage them, right? It's money TikTok Shop is typically giving you if it's under the TikTok Shop sponsored campaigns or promotions, where we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday coming up, or we have promotions where there's like flash deals, et cetera, that you guys can choose to use. This would be at the cost of the merchant to kind of just drive sales, drive excitement, catch eyes. And then one thing I wanted to highlight is who's on TikTok Shop and what did they do to be successful? And you'll see that some of the things I started to chat through is what got them there. So this is Benefit Cosmetics, huge brand that a lot of people have probably heard of. And what they did at the bottom is you can see that they did go live with their customers where they were consistently going live with shoppable videos. For them specifically, they partnered with one of our partners that I'll have two slides to talk about to help manage that. If you think of like lighting, production, answering questions, all of that, we have partners that can help if that seems scary. And they also worked with creators. So you can see that those two things helped out and it led to 32% more sales, 23 boosts in orders. I'm not going to chat through all the numbers, but those are things they did to drive it home. And so if any of you are taking notes, you're really excited to kind of grow your shop, I would say start thinking through not only what are my shoppable videos going to be? Am I going to partner with a creator? Am I going to go live? Start thinking about your social calendar as well. I think something you don't read often is TikTok Shop. It's a numbers game. Don't try to master one perfect video, get it out there and hope for the best. You need to keep pushing out videos. You need to capitalize on trends that are going on. You need to capitalize on like popular kind of sounds or music that's going on. That's how you kind of organically catch people's eyes and get into that algorithm so your video gets pushed out often, right? So think about those things. And then here, again, meeting you guys where you're at. If you're a larger brand, you're like, Vincent, I don't have time for all of that. We have partners who can help you. And so the first one that I'll cover is kind of what I mentally think of as service partners, where we have TSPs that can help you with onboarding, your shoppable videos, paid media. You can kind of see the whole gamut here. So we have great partners we work with. A lot of the success you see from major brands is typically them partnering with brands like this to help them out. So keep that in mind if it's right for you, if you're at that stage of your journey. And then the second one that ties back is we were chatting on integrations. I say we work with our tech partners like Linworks. We also have solutions where if you're already present in like Shopify, WooCommerce, et cetera, we have a whole world of options that starts from the bare bones of like, let's sync your product catalog over to TikTok Shop so you don't have to hit add product 100 times. But you can see we actually keep pushing the envelope where we have kind of shipping and fulfillment options to help you again as we think of the potential of going viral in Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And we actually have new apps as well that will help you create shoppable videos. We have a CapCut app in there. We also have ones that will help you automate your connection with creators. So if this is right, if you're a bigger shop, you don't have the time, you're willing to pay someone for help, we have service partners and we have tech partners to make it a little bit easier and guide you through it. So again, seller centers where you start, partners will help you kind of grow and scale even faster. And if you're interested, I have QR codes to both here on the next slide. And once I hand it over for the team to continue the webinar, I'll also drop in chat a link. We have a TikTok team that does videos on TikTok about how to sell on TikTok. Kind of a mouthful, but it's really fun if you are already as a consumer, as a person on TikTok. Follow this account that I drop in. We have one for the US as well as one for the UK, so we can keep those considerations in mind. And they just provide like best practices or tips you may not consider in really fun bite-sized videos. So a great way to build your knowledge without having to troll through articles, but I'll also share a link to our TikTok Academy. So hopefully that addressed majority of the questions we came in. It did seem like it did, but we'll leave time at the end to get through as many questions as we can. But with that, we'll kind of end on the key takeaways for my section for TikTok Shop, which is really leverage live shopping. It's so unique for TikTok Shop, and it allows you to engage with your audience, collaborate with creators. They're going to help you extend your reach and add that lens of authenticity. Optimize your listings. We either have service partners that can help you do that, or we have, built-in tools to help you. And again, think of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Use a fulfillment partner to streamline your order processing. It'll save you a headache and a lot of anxiety, I would argue. But with that, I'll hand it back to the team, and I'll be hanging out in chat if I can help answer anything initially.
Yeah, that's it. We've had a lot of questions come in, so I can imagine there's a lot of specificity around some of this. But in general, getting some questions around which is the best method to start. You'd mentioned all the different ways that you can sell in TikTok, but I think people are maybe hesitant to pick one or the other. We had somebody ask specifically if they have, single SKU items, what type of approach should they do? Do you typically have a recommendation or a way? Is that working with a partner to help you make those decisions?
Yeah, honestly, what I would say is, and we were chatting about this before the webinar started, everyone. It's so merchant dependent, right? Where some of these questions are going to be specific to your journey. So what I would recommend, honestly, is we'll be sharing a link where for those of you that might not be on TikTok Shop, we'll kind of send a survey link essentially for you to enter your information. That will really help us gauge where are you in your journey. Like we'll kind of ask things like, are you on other platforms? That's a huge determinant for how you're going to do business. Or is TikTok Shop your first marketplace? My answer will vary depending on that. So we'll have that. And what we'll do is share all of your information for anyone interested with our account managers. That's the team that their whole bread and butter is guiding you through this journey on what's right for you. And they'll present multiple options that's right for your specific shop. So I would say keep a link out for that. And those are the people that can guide you if you do get an account manager. Not everyone will. And I would say if you're an account that doesn't qualify for an account manager, at that point, Seller Center and its built-in tools are likely going to be your best solution rather than leveraging an integration to touch back to that.
And then also on creators, that's a different methodology for a lot of people that are here,
Mhm.
a creator and connecting with a creator. I think somebody had mentioned that they'd have a problem connecting or find somebody that would answer them. Are those types of resources or how to navigate that journey in Seller Central as well?
Yeah, it's a great question where what's really nice about, again, step zero, that seller center method with the affiliate center, those are all creators that are willing to work. So this is nice because rather than you kind of cold emailing, finding someone's information, etc., these are people that are kind of listing themselves as available. So you get that kind of collaborative energy right off the bat. So that's kind of if you're using our affiliate center and kind of doing it on your own. Another great way is we do have service partners where they have agencies of creators, if you can kind of think about it that way. And what's nice is they have a set group they work with, and they'll kind of formulate that process if you're at that portion where anything like guiding through what are the talk tracks, you have a little bit more control. They'll kind of navigate that. They'll also control the schedule, etc. So various options, but no matter what, I would say once you're in TikTok Shop, either one of those creators will respond and work with you. They're excited for it. And I think I won't speak to it in specifics, but if you are using Affiliate Center, you're actively reaching out, TikTok will guide you on this, but think about your commission rates as well. You need to maintain, you need to be enticing, right? So maybe lower the or increase the commission you're offering as your videos start to saturate the market, people are like, oh my God, this is a really exciting product. I want to work with them. Then you can kind of dial back your commission rate as a way to think of that tactic if you're handling it on your own.
Okay, great, thank you.
Of
We're going to
course.
be passing this over to Samantha Rapani, who'll be talking more about optimizing the fulfillment processes within the TikTok ecosystem. All right, take it away, Samantha.
Thank you. For those of you who are new to ShipBob, we are a global e-commerce fulfillment solution, and we work with brands of varying sizes. So this could be those large, super fast-growing e-commerce brands to those who are in their preliminary stages, just getting started, and we provide best-in-class supply chain solutions. We essentially do this all with a one-stack fulfillment platform where you can view like a single view of your business across all sales channels. We do this by having your orders within the dashboard along with inventory to show what's picked, packed, shipped, and we provide analytics as well. We help you optimize your fulfillment operations by having everything within this one portal. And then we have 60 fulfillment centers across the United States, so that Canada, Europe, and Australia. And we have hundreds of integrations within the ShipBob dashboard. So let's say whether you're selling on Walmart or Amazon or TikTok, of course, we can help you fulfill those orders. So what fulfillment options do you have on TikTok? There are three main options, of course, fulfilled by TikTok, seller shipping, and TikTok shipping. Now, fulfilled by TikTok is a program within TikTok that essentially allows TikTok to manage all of the fulfillment aspects for you. So you would send inventory to TikTok, they'd pick, pack, and ship those orders, and it's all within the TikTok Talkgistics portal. Now, ShipBob was the first partner to help power this program for TikTok, so we do have expertise to help you hit the ground running in this area. Additionally, seller shipping. This is an incredibly common, fabulous way to fulfill orders. Essentially, this is where you would connect TikTok to your 3PL, either through a direct connection or middleware such as Linworks. And you would manage everything within your 3PL dashboard. So you can utilize your inventory for multiple types of orders. Additionally, there is an option for TikTok shipping. This is usually for self-fulfillment where you're fulfilling orders and TikTok will provide you with an actual shipping label. Usually best to start that as you're, starting out, and then as you grow, working with the 3PL. And where ShipBob can step in with fulfillment help is via seller shipping and a hybrid model with Fulfilled by TikTok. So at ShipBob, we have two different offerings. Of course, you can absolutely outsource your entire fulfillment to ShipBob, where we store your inventory, pick, pack, and ship it. Or if you have your own warehouse and you need a warehouse management system and labels to be provided by ShipBob, you can utilize your own facility and utilize our WMS tool. Now, through this, essentially, we can connect your TikTok orders to the ShipBob dashboard that you're using for any US or UK location and fulfill these orders. Now, we do have specific prioritization of TikTok orders, so we make sure we hit those SLAs and use the appropriate carriers. And another alternative solution, which is really helpful for Q4, is this hybrid model. So for those who are on Fulfilled by TikTok, let's say that maybe you were forecasting a specific number of orders and then all of a sudden you go viral. If you're low on inventory and FBT and suddenly sell out, you can switch your fulfillment option to seller shipping, send those orders to your 3PL, maybe ShipBob in this instance, and still allow those orders to occur while you're maybe waiting to replenish inventory for Fulfilled by TikTok. This hybrid model allows you to have the best of both worlds. You can utilize FBT, and if you run out of stock, you can absolutely utilize your 3PL to help assist. So from a syncing orders perspective, we have this graphic here, and I'll run you through how these orders will flow. Essentially, when your customer places an order on TikTok Shop, you're going to have to fulfill that within a required SLA. So we want to make sure there's technical connections and that everything flows well to your fulfillment provider. And you can utilize a middleware solution to get that order from TikTok to either your Shopify or WooCommerce, or even with Linworks, directly to ShipBob. So typically it's the order, middleware solution, getting that to your e-commerce platform, and then we're able to import the order that way. We'll pick, pack, and ship it. And then of course, we're going to send that tracking information all the way back to TikTok. And then by partnering with ShipBob, you can provide seamless fulfillment for all of your TikTok shop orders. As I was alluding to earlier, we do have metrics in place in order to hit TikTok SLAs. We have an advanced design system where we ensure that these orders are prioritized in our queue, and also that we only use TikTok approved carriers. We ensure that all orders are going to be in line with what TikTok requires. Additionally, you can offer affordable shipping or even free shipping to your customers because we have a massive suite of fulfillment centers across the US and the UK. Especially if you have your inventory distributed, it is typically cheaper to fulfill based on those zones. And 62% of customers are less likely to purchase if there's shipping fees associated with an order. So offering free shipping and having your inventory spread out for that quick and affordable fulfillment is very important. Additionally, we can utilize customization within your orders. So that could be marketing inserts, custom poly mailers, boxes. And this really helps with that unboxing experience, which is so important in a creator space, especially like TikTok. Like, let's say affiliate receives an order that you send to them, they open it and they can show that unboxing experience. They can see the tissue paper and how beautiful that order actually looks going to your customers. And of course, with using seller shipping and ShipBob, you do have access to customer data, which helps increase CLV. So essentially, you can, really retain this data since TikTok is essentially a discovery platform. And you can utilize customer data with partners we integrate with, such as Triple Whale and Klaviyo, to track attribution and actually do something with that data. Now, I would love to shout out one of ShipBob's merchants, Beach Waver. They are those viral hair curlers you're probably seeing all over TikTok, and their setup with ShipBob is really interesting. So as Vincent was alluding to earlier, they go live all the time. They're really engaging with customers, and that's part of how they drive sales. So their fulfillment setup, they utilize many ShipBob fulfillment centers within the United States and internationally, but they actually also own one of their own fulfillment centers themselves. So they utilize our warehouse management system. And with this unique setup, what they're able to do is have those customization moments with TikTok. They go live, they pack orders live, they really engage with customers. And additionally, let's say they run out of inventory in their own fulfillment center, our dashboard will essentially then ping the rest of the network to say which other fulfillment center can get this order to the customer the fastest and the cheapest. Beach Waver has done a really phenomenal job, and just kind of alluding to there's so many different ways that you can manage fulfillment on TikTok, and our team's absolutely here to help you figure out what's best. All right, and everyone, well, thanks for joining me here today. If you have any questions, please reach out to the ShipBob team at the link provided on this slide. Right now, we're running a special offer where we are offering $1,000 in free shipping credits to new merchants, 90% off the implementation fee, and then 3 months of branded truck wraps, which are really cool. We can see this one here with Jennifer Aniston's brand, Lola V, that we recently ran.
All right, thanks, Samantha. So just, with all of that, one of the things that I called out at the beginning of the session is that you guys are experts at kind of, TikTok fulfillment. Is there a reason that you went in this direction? Is there something that is unique with this approach?
Caroline, could you repeat the last part? My Wi-Fi cut out for a second.
Sure, no problem. Just, why TikTok? Why have you guys really embraced TikTok from a marketplace perspective and help with
Oh
this
yeah,
business?
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that last bit.
No worries.
So TikTok has been one of the absolutely most exciting platforms to see grow, because when we were first approached with TikTok to help with the Fulfilled by TikTok partnership. And then we thought, how do we get our customers to actually grow and scale on TikTok and utilize this amazing new platform to sell on? My CMO, Casey Armstrong, noted that TikTok is the fastest e-commerce platform that he's ever seen grow. And we've seen merchants begin on TikTok, maybe start a little bit slow and then immediately go viral, where it's almost a good problem to have where they run out of inventory. The amount of growth and discovery that we've seen our merchants have on TikTok has been really phenomenal. And I've actually heard really amazing feedback that while someone's going viral on TikTok and getting orders there, their other sales platforms are increasing as well because customers just know the brand a lot better because of TikTok. So that's why we heavily promote this. We're always asking our merchants if they're interested in learning more, interested in expanding, and really promoting the sales channel.
Right. Thanks, Samantha. So in the last part of this, I'll briefly talk a bit about Linworks. To what Samantha was mentioning before, we do see a lot of retailers really embracing TikTok. So from our perspective, we wanted to make sure that we, had an integration. We've invested in this marketplace. From our perspective, we have a new native integration that's in market now. So just very briefly from the integration perspective, Linworks allows you to do all of the things that you see here. So inventory updates, they can automatically send changes in stock levels to TikTok Shop. Order download, orders can automatically be downloaded into Linworks, allowing you to reserve available stock and avoid overselling. Inventory mapping, shipping mapping, order dispatch, orders on TikTok Shop can be marked as shipped and provided with the tracking number and shipping service name via Linworks. Payment mapping, price changing, list creation. So we want to support that operational component of going to market within TikTok Shop. So I will say, if you go ahead and move to the next one, just we'll be moving into questions, but we also have a way to reach out to each one of our different teams. Again, we want to support you, whether you're looking to start in TikTok, operationalize TikTok, provide fulfillment from TikTok. We'll be providing additional assets to you post this. If you'd like to talk or reach out to any of our different groups, we do have on the next one a way for you if you have your phone available. We have QR codes here. Specifically for Linworks, we'll be giving a demo on October 24th, specifically of our integration with TikTok. So we can highlight that. I know we've had a lot of questions come in on our side on specific features and functionality of the tools. So we'll be providing more details on that or you can reach out to us directly to see the integration at work. And as Vincent and Samantha mentioned before, same with them, they have special promotions, or they can put you in touch with the right people to help you with your TikTok journey there. So going ahead and moving over to the questions, I cannot see if you guys want to take some time really quickly to ask any additional questions. We've got a few that have come in here. I have one for Vincent. How do we get a creator network to work with us? I've contacted a few and I didn't get an answer back.
Yeah, that was the one where I lightly touched on it before, but I would say one, clarify if you are using our affiliate center or if you were kind of just like cold outreaching. But I would say use our affiliate center. Those are creators that are excited to work. They're excited to even be included in that network. So they've been kind of pre-vetted by TikTok in a sense. So use that and it'll lead to more responses, I would say. And then again, if you're realizing that you're kind of leveraging that and your campaigns just aren't receiving responses, again, it might just be a product people aren't as familiar with or aren't as confident in promoting, so to speak. So leverage that commission tactic I said, where you kind of raise it, even if it's just temporary. And then as you notice people trickling in and responding, lower it back down to something you're happy with for the long term.
Okay.
One good thing I'd love to answer is I might need the Linworks team to drop it in comment. I don't think I can comment at everyone, unfortunately. But there was a great question where someone asked, can I sell alcohol on TikTok Shop? Unfortunately not. We do have two categories. One is prohibited products, and that'll be things of an adult nature to keep it kind of a safe marketplace. Alcohol for now is unfortunately included in that. It's constantly being updated, and we have an Academy link that lists out specific ones. The other thing to keep in mind is we have restricted products where it may be allowed. We just might need more documentation to like do our due diligence and check. So either prohibited or restricted, but unfortunately to the person who asked, Real alcohol is not going to be allowed. I know someone asked about their mocktail, and that, since it'll be zero alcohol, will be a different story. But to answer that one live as well, unfortunately, no pre-sales. There are SLAs with shipping and fulfillment, so you can't fulfill an order but not actually send it out, as you'll get dinged for that. But you can start your TikTok shop account early and just get through all the rigmarole of signing up.
Got it. I did see alcohol and mocktails in there, so a lot of people in that industry. I think there was one question you'd mentioned something about it before about getting a direct manager.
Mhm.
How do you interact with them? How do you get them to respond? What's the typical process there for working with your TikTok manager?
Yeah, it's a great question. So what I would say is, and I kind of answered one via chat just offline for the person who initially asked it. There's a great question about like, how do I get an account manager? We're much like any other marketplace, right? It depends on a couple of factors, but really the size of your shop will determine, are you getting someone who's there all the time? Or is it kind of more of a scaled approach, just transparently speaking? So not everyone will get an account manager. The best way for us to kind of triage you to the right team to support you, we'll again provide that survey link. I see some connection requests on LinkedIn coming in as well. If you message me there, like we'll get you this link in a variety of ways. That'll ask the questions that help us figure out what's the right team to help support you, is kind of one to ask. And then I would say, if you do have an account manager and they aren't responding to you, just let us know. I can help bubble that up. Sometimes things do filter into spam filters via email, which is always kind of messy. So we can figure it out. And especially if you're already a Linworks customer, we help make sure that you guys are having a great experience so that we don't do webinars like this and then kind of disappear. We'll make sure that you're getting the right support that you need. So hopefully that answers that question.
We did receive some questions specifically about addressable market. You had mentioned before some different ways to get in front of those people. Obviously, the algorithm being one, making sure you're working with a creator that has expertise in that space. You know, using ads and the ad network. I think there's some questions around how that works. Is there a way to address audiences there? I don't know if you can give any more details around that.
Yeah, I would say with ads, that of course is going to be segmented as you're kind of used to. So that'll be a whole separate beast. When it comes to your organic videos, you're kind of throwing them out into the ether. So that one, not so much, right? It'll just be what the algorithm kind of determines. And that's where I think if you're on any of the forums or in any kind of user groups, seller groups, sometimes they touch on that where people are like, on the flip side, frustrated that they can't game the algorithm. I think that's kind of back of pocket why a lot of consumers love it is it's things that they're genuinely interested in. And I think that's why I always tie it back to you can't segment with your kind of organic videos, but I think you can think about it strategically on what are the trends I want to capitalize on? What's the themes of my video? There's so much we can go into, everyone. And this kind of hints at the audiences you'll naturally funnel to or things to keep in mind. But of course, if you're like, Vincent, that's a lot of work, that's a lot of guesswork, that's a lot of volume, use the ads, right? That'll help you get where you want to focus. So, and you can always use both in tandem as well.
Okay. And Samantha, got a couple questions on preferred shipping method. Is there anything that you can respond to about that? Different ways to ship through TikTok?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I saw that question as well, and just a few generally around shipping. Now, something to keep in mind is that if you're set to TikTok shipping, it is going to like redact the address because you're supposed to use a TikTok shipping label in that essence. Now, seller shipping is the preferred shipping method if you're utilizing a 3PL or like a WMS system in your own warehouse. And there are three different options that you're able to set up. One is standard shipping, one is express shipping, and one is economy shipping. Now, there are some SLA requirements behind how quickly your orders dispatch and are delivered. So you may, if you do have any violation points, you may not be able to do express shipping until your SLAs associated with operations do increase. What we typically recommend when we're helping our merchants set up is starting with either free economy or standard shipping. And then depending on how quickly their transit times are, or if they want to offer an express shipping method, then they expand to that.
Great. I also received a question specifically on Linworks, about, addresses and the way that addresses are passed via TikTok. Yeah, there are a few challenges there in our new native integration. We are shipping the US by your state, and for the UK, we are shipping by country. So I can answer more of that, and we can get more into that in a demo as well, for that individual that asked the question about the new integration. Okay, from Paula for Samantha, they've negotiated shipping rates with USPS and UPS. Can we ship with our own rates?
Yeah, Paula, you absolutely can do that. So what you would need to do is essentially set your shipping option in TikTok to seller shipping, which allows you to utilize your own shipping label and ship that order yourself. So it'd be kind of like a self-fulfillment method where you're utilizing your own label rather than under TikTok shipping where they would give you a shipping label. So that's seller shipping.
All right, great. I got the standard question of, will a recorded link for this webinar be provided? Yes, you will receive the recorded link. It will be provided tomorrow. It'll be sent out to this entire group today. There's quite a few questions in here.
Could I jump in with one?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Perfect. I know there's so many in there, so I was like, oh, let me help guide the eyes. One that I got that I think is just really great for everyone on the call is someone asked a great question about what's the average basket value on TikTok Shop? I see a lot of low value products flying around. Is the trust value there for items at a higher or considered price point? So unfortunately, as TikTok, we don't have any internal metrics that I can share about basket value. But anecdotally, you can see that I think other market research firms have published on this, et cetera. But what I will say is that when it comes to higher ticket items, something you have to keep in mind is, again, the authenticity and the trust factor, especially if it's a higher ticket item that people aren't as familiar with. We do see them on TikTok Shop, right? I think you would just have to be a bit more specific where it's not an everyday item, right? And so playing to the algorithm, while it's going to be great if we're actually looking at conversion, you may need to leverage ads to find the right buyers a bit faster. But something else as well is you're likely going to be a category that has to really quickly figure out your target campaigns. I wouldn't just trust anyone with my product from a creator standpoint, right? But there are luxury creators. I follow quite a few of them where they do talk about high price ticket items. And that's how you can kind of get over that hump, is leverage them where you can work with them. They can kind of confirm and give you that kind of stamp of approval of like, oh my God, I love this. Everyone check this out. They can help you build that video as well, which is an added bonus. But you might just need to be a bit more strategic because, again, there is a higher consideration that the users will go through. But I've done it. And we've seen it with electronic products as well. If you think about that category, that does do well. It's not always just beauty and fashion, everyone. So hopefully that helps. I know it's a bit anecdotal, but just some steps to start to think through it. And I myself as a consumer am viewing them. So maybe I'll see your video and buy it.
All right, great. Let's see. There is some additional questions about, I think, again, what you mentioned there, the types of categories that work really well from TikTok. It's really probably a broad answer across that because everybody wants to know about their specific category and if it's something that they should dip their toes in. Is there any answer that you can give a bit more broadly for different categories and how they can gauge where it is the right fit for them?
Yeah, exactly. So team, hold me accountable, everyone on the webinar. Hopefully you can see the responses to my answered questions. One is, again, use that product opportunities section of Seller Center. So even after you start your account, you can access that without even, you'll have to choose your category that you're selling, right? So it can figure out subcategories. But another thing I love to do is I linked somewhere in there to our ads portion of the site. It actually links to the best performing categories. And honestly, just talking aloud at it, this is data driven. You'll see that it's like perfume, casual dresses, serums, and essences. So I always love to look at that. And you can, that's the United States. You can filter to other countries. This is from an ads perspective, but it helps you kind of temperature check almost on top of the product opportunities. So I love to just look through data like that to inform me. I do think, all of this said, I do think there is a weird notion that it's only beauty and fashion on TikTok. I get a lot of cleaning products. I don't know if anyone else on the call is the same way. Collectibles also do well, right? And so I would say don't use this to think, oh, like I'm not a top category, I'm not going to do well. Again, TikTok is a strange place. It's all about authenticity. And I think anything you can build a community around is something that'll sell well if it's a product. And those are some strange things. Storage bins do really well on TikTok Shop because people love showing off their fridge and how they organized it using those bins to kind of add another lens to it that's not marketed as heavily. So look at those. It's great to determine hero SKUs, but don't over-index on it because you could be that brand that somehow finds a viral following and changes the category and what's doing well. So think about that as well.
Okay, great. We just keep getting the questions, and I know some of you have asked, are we seeing your questions? Yes, we're seeing your questions. There's just so many.
There's a lot.
We're trying to collapse them into, if somebody's asked something more than once, how to kind of kind of combine those conversations. All right, there's one that just came in about markets in East Asia and distribution partners using TikTok Shop. Will they have the same advertising options in the UK and the US? Very specific.
Yeah, that one, unfortunately, I can't answer that one specifically. I'm on the TikTok Shop side, so not as deep on the ad side, unfortunately. But I think overall with all of these questions, again, like we alluded to in the beginning, I know we're like 3 minutes left. If there's any that we need to find more information on because we ourselves are not the respective subject matter expert, we'll try to collate as much of them in that recap email so we don't leave you guys hanging because we do appreciate you taking the time to listen to us chat for like about an hour. So that one, unfortunately, I'll have to circle back.
Okay, great. I will say the same thing for us. I'm getting very specific product related questions about printing labels and some other things. And we do have an answer for you. It's a technical answer, and I'm sure everyone on the call doesn't want to hear it. So we will be reaching out to you to provide those answers specifically. And I know, Samantha, there's quite a few on different types of shipping there that you'll be responding to as well.
Absolutely.
All right, well, as Vincent said, we do have a lot of questions. We'll follow up. We've got a lot coming your way around TikTok and helping support you in either getting started in your journey or progressing to the next steps. We appreciate your time today. If you'd like to reach out to any of us, we will send those contact details so you can. We will get as many of your questions answered as we can, and appreciate your time. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.